Hello. Um, Happy Friday. Good morning to everyone. Morning, Susan and Sandra and Dora. Hope you guys had a good week. We're sort of at the end of the week. Sort of almost at the end of September. I don't even know how that happened. I feel like it just started. Time is passing quickly, right? Oh, so I sent you guys an email if you haven't seen it yet, just asking you what you thought about outdoor classes. I haven't talked to Jan yet about it, but she sent me an email, and yeah, it's seems like the weather could be a factor. Um, so um, I'm not probably on board with that, but I don't know. I'll have to talk to Jan and see what the plan is. My one of my concerns is I don't really know where at Garfield Park we could do that. There really isn't any grassy area um, that I remember. By there is behind, but I don't really know how well kept that is, or I don't know anything about that. I noticed the places that are doing outdoor classes are doing them in parking lots. Um, not a huge fan of that. I can see where if you're standing up doing a line dancing class or something, that would be fine. But if we're going to be down on our mats and things, uh, eh, eh. And I think the weather's definitely going to be a factor. They're talking about doing it at the same time, 9:30 in the morning, which 9:30 in the morning is going to be chilly, very chilly, especially if you're laying your mat out on a freezing pavement. So I'm going to say probably not going to happen. But, it's nice that they are trying to get some stuff going. And they may do, I know they contacted some of the group fitness people, and I think there is a line dancing class uh, at Garfield Park normally. So maybe that's something they could do because you could certainly do your line dancing in your winter coat if you needed to. Um, so I'm glad that they are thinking about what they could do um, outdoors um, over the fall anyway. Um, so keep an eye out. I'll let you know if I know anything more about it, about what classes they might offer at all. And then now I think if you go to, they've sort of redesigned some of the site. And if you go to the county website, if you click on the different locations, um, most of them say nothing, but Hokessen does have, the listing of just the things that they are offering right now, which is great. So they've pretty much taken down everything that's not going on. So you don't get confused about what they might be doing or might not be doing. So yeah, if you, with any luck, they'll get something going at Garfield, and then you can broaden your horizons and do some different things, maybe. Um, so this actually brings me to something I wanted to kind of talk about today, which is the idea of making do, right? Um, so I was reading an article about. Um, uh, I have been feeling kind of down about all this stuff, and I think it's a pretty common uh, phenomenon for people to be going through, kind of ups and downs throughout this whole thing. Um, and the idea is that, for the first few months, everyone was making a real effort to kind of just do their best and struggle through and, put a brave face on it and all that. But after a certain point, you kind of lose your enthusiasm. And you get tired, and you get tired of trying to kind of, you know, jolly your way through all of it. Um, and it's turning out to be, a much longer term situation than we might have thought back in March. So, um, with yoga, we know we got to work through these changes and figure out how to live with them. It looks like they're going to be long term changes, which is, what it is. And what the suggestion was is that you think about what it is that you miss and figure out how to do it, right? What is it that you actually miss? There may be some things you actually enjoy. I was talking to my husband about this, and he said he really likes working from home. Um, Generally speaking, he enjoys being here to work. But there are things about being in the office that he misses. One of them is the peace and quiet, relative peace and quiet. One of them is he misses his commute. He misses listening. He used to listen to audiobooks and things. He didn't have a long commute, but it was long enough to do something. So just that stretch of peace and quiet in the car he likes. So um, he's going to, set up something where a couple of times a week, he goes out and runs an errand that we need by himself, because we've always been doing stuff together. And now he's going to do some things by himself, and me too. Um, Also, and he's been doing this for a while. So he has a friend at work that he's worked with for years, and they had this payday date where they would go out to lunch on payday. And they've been doing it for, I don't know, 15 years, some crazy thing. Um, Almost never miss it. And what they started doing was um, going, they go to a drive through now and then pull their cars up, like they call it a cop lunch, right? So just like policemen will do, where they pull up with one car facing one way, one car and one the other way, so that their windows are close together and they can talk. So that's what they do. So what we need, I think, to get through all this is to identify what's important to you. Um, what do you miss? And how can you replicate that now? Um, Maybe you miss going to the fitness classes at Garfield Park. So, maybe you'll do one of the different ones, right? Something that they do offer. Maybe you'll go to Hokassen and do one of their classes. Um, the key is to figure out what it is that you enjoy, and then find out how you can make that happen. One thing we used to do around here is um, we for years didn't do much in the way of yard work, because there was just too much going on, too many kids, too much stuff. But as they got older, we started working on that a little bit more. And the incentive was, if we worked in the yard, then we could go to the brewery and have a beer. That was incentive for my husband. I mean, I liked it too, but he really thought that was great. Um, and of course, now you can, for some places you can go, but it's different. It's not really the same. So we've tried to do that at home, right? So we really take the time when we're finished to sit down, you know, have a beer, chat, do what we would have done somewhere else. And it's hard, right? Working from home, trying to do things from home, it's very easy to let things bleed together, right? So your work kind of oozes out into your free time, and there isn't that strict delineation like there is when you're going out and doing things. So you have to um, do that for yourself. You have to really make that super important. Um, we also try to kind of split up the day with taking the dog for a walk. So when Dave is finished working, um, I try to be finished working whatever I've been doing that day. And then we take the dog for a walk. And that's kind of the transition between the working day to what comes next. And then, you know, whatever work comes next, right? Got to make dinner or something like that comes afterwards. Um, so, uh, yeah, I think things are, it's starting to sink in a little bit that things are changing and things have changed a bit. So, um, my husband just, this past weekend, he decided he needed a bigger desk because he'd just been sort of making do with his desk the way it was. Um, and, I guess it took him 6 months to get to the point where he realized that this is how it's going to be, at least for the foreseeable future. So it's time to do this. And it only took, we got some boards from the garage. We had some old shelving, and we just, slapped together a tabletop and put some filing cabinets we had under it. And he has a big desk extension, which makes things so much easier. But I guess up until now, he didn't want to really um, accept that it was permanent, at least for now. Um, so don't be afraid to accept that this is how it's going to be for now. And do what you need to do to make it easy for yourself. Um, what do you need? Maybe you need a bigger desk. Maybe you need some curtains or something to make your Zoom space more useful. Um, think of it as um, semi permanent because you can always change it, right? But make it easier for yourself now. Don't think of this as just a short term fix. Think of it as um, making an investment in your space and your time. Um, and, when things change again, you can change with them. Um, and it will all, work out because we're going to make it work out. Um, things are not going to go back to how they were. That is clear. It doesn't mean that we aren't going to be able to go back to doing some of the things that we used to do, but we'll probably do them in a different way. And that's not necessarily such a bad thing. We maybe will be more careful and take more precautions. We will know what we need to do, and that's good. I mean, one of the problems with this whole thing from the very beginning was that we weren't really sure what to do. We'd never gone through this, and um, things were so new. But just as we get better at dealing with this, doctors and hospitals are better at dealing with this. Um, everything is better as we learn, right? So let's take that knowledge and use it, and find a way to make yourself comfortable with what's going on. And um, so I hate to, I don't like this term that people say, the new normal, right? Um, because everything is the new normal. Every day there's a new normal. So I don't. It's as if there's a fixed position that's normal. There isn't. every time something changes, everything changes, and that's okay. Um, but I do like the idea of normalizing um, the changes, right? So that's what we need to get used to is the idea that things are changing and that things will continue to change, and we're going to change with them. We're going to live our best life regardless, and we're going to do what we need to do. Um, Lots of options, lots of um, ability to do things, right? There's so much online. Um, People are really going out of their way to make things available online, to um, make things available outdoors. Um, we just have to change maybe our idea of um, what it looks like for us. So, and don't, if you aren't too thrilled about that, uh, don't, join the club. I don't think anybody's super thrilled about it. Um, and you're going to have ups and downs. Some days it's going to seem like a challenge, and some days it's going to seem like overwhelming. Um, so be, be easy with yourself, and don't, don't get down on yourself if you feel like you're struggling. Some we're all kind of struggling, but the first struggle is to accept how it is, right? If you can't do that or won't do that, you're going to be you're going to have a real hard time. So get your head in the right place, and then you will, things will follow. But take as much time as you need. There's no reason to um, rush at all. All right. So let's do some asana today. Sitting up nice and tall, relax the shoulders. One more breath, and then just bring the head down, relax, and let your head hang. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed so you're not lifting them up. Bring the head back up. Keep lifting, chin lifts. And then head back. Take a breath in, lowering the head over to the right. Back up and moving left. Back up. Let's bring the arms out in front. And then hands behind, fingertips pointing away from the body. Gaze up. And back to your seat. Lean forward a little bit again, and then moving around. One way and the other. Back up to your seat. Arms wide. Take a deep breath. On the exhale, hands together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift the hands. We're gazing up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Once more, lifting up. And then we're going to bring the right hand down, reach across with the left. And across with the right. And then come on back up. Let's lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. So I think we're going to do something a little different today because I spent some extra time talking. So I've been kicking this around, and I wanted to work on it a little myself before we get started. But there is a series of yoga, they're yoga poses, but there's it's kind of an overlap with a Tibetan series. But they're called the 5 Tibetan Rites. They're kind of an all-around thing that you could do for exercise. And I'm gonna let's talk about them. Let's do them today. So the idea is that these are very simple, 5 simple exercises that you can do that would give you like a sort of a full range of motion. It's also good for strength building and flexibility. It's not as much for flexibility, right? I mean, there's not a lot of stretching involved, but the key thing is it gets these chakral centers moving. So the movements are designed, and yoga poses are designed as well to move the energy body as well as the physical body. So these do this in a very special kind of way. And the idea is when you get this energy body moving, you are also moving, you're kind of lifting everything up in the body. Things are going to work better. And the rites are specifically meant for older people. Anybody can do them, but they are specifically designed for older people to kind of rejuvenate the body in a way. So there are, if you look at them up online, there are a lot of claims and a lot of like crazy stuff about them, but they are just very, very functional and very useful. It's not gonna make you younger. You're not going to become 20 years old again, but they're a good solid exercise, and they're easy to do. They're easy to start. You don't need a really high level of fitness to do them. And there's, adaptations, variations you can do. So 5 exercises. We start out with a repetition of 3 with each. If you, as you keep doing these, and you're supposed to be doing them every day, but again, like it takes a very short period of time. If you are pursuing this over the long term, you would add 2 repetitions every day. I'm sorry, every week. Every day. That would be a lot. No, it's every week. So up to 21 repetitions, which is a lot, right? I don't know if you want to go there, but 3 is a great place to start. It doesn't take a long time, and it's a good kind of introduction, and you can stick with that for a while. But if you get to the point where the 3 seems super easy, you can add 2 more and do 5, and so on. It's up to you what you want to do. So the first one, we're just standing, and I'm kind of out of the frame here. And what we're going to do is circles. We're going to go clockwise. Arms out, palms down. So you can do this very slow. You don't want to do it super fast, right? You don't want to get dizzy. The easiest way is if you pick a point to gaze at. So you keep your focus on that for as long as you can, and then bring your gaze back around. Right? So there's one. And you can go super slow, right? It doesn't have to be fast. 2. And there's 3. Okay, if you feel dizzy, give yourself a moment. Let everything settle down. Right? So second one, we're getting on the mat. So we're on the mat, lying flat. And what we're going to do is lift the legs as we lift the body. So if you have issues with your lower back, you might bring your hands, palms down, and just bring them under your, kind of your hip area, a little below your hip. So it just kind of supports the lower back, right? So you can sort of scoot your hands under, so they're sort of under your hips. If you are good with the lower back, you can just have the hands by the side. I like to do this. It just helps. I just feel better about it. But you can see how you feel. And then we're going to lift up both legs together and back down. Okay, if this is not working for you, if that's too much to start with, bend the knees and then just bring the knees in, right? So that's where you start if you need to. And then eventually, you can extend the legs out. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. Take a couple of breaths. And then we're coming up onto your knees. This is the third exercise. So we've got a couple options here. You can bring the hands by your side, by the legs. you could bring the hands behind. And what we're going to do is we're bringing the chin down, and then we're bringing the head back, leaning back. So it might not be a very big movement. You can bring the hands by the side if it's easier. It might be sometimes having the arms here is kind of gets in the way when you're trying to lean back. So having the hands behind is fine too. If you want to do a little more with this, you can bend forward. And then come up. So I don't know, what have we done? 2, maybe 2, so we'll do another one. 3. So the idea is we're moving the head, the upper body, back and forth 3 times. Whatever degree you feel comfortable with on that. Okay, the fourth one. So we're sitting upright. And see, I got off my mat. The reason I did that is because if I don't, I get stuck on my mat because the mat is kind of sticky and we're going to be lifting up. So this one can feel a little awkward when you first start, like you're not really sure what you're doing. So I'm going to show you it, and then I'm going to show you variation on it. Okay. So hands are right under the shoulders, right next to the hips. We're going to take a breath in. On the exhale, we're lifting up. And lowering down. See, I got stuck there too. It helps if you have kind of a slippery floor because we're lifting the body up, but the feet are pretty much staying where they are. So when you first start, your tendency is going to think you want to bend the knees, right? And you can do that to start with. It may make it a little easier to start from bended knee. You can lift up this way. You work on building strength that way. The other option is to lay down and just lift the hips up this way, right? Which is not dissimilar to bridge, right? So any variation on that is good because right, we're building strength and we're building the muscle memory on knowing how to do it, which is all part of it. So that was 1, right? 2. And 3. Take a couple of breaths. Okay, ready for the last one. Number 5, back to the mat. So this last one is sort of a variation on how we sometimes go high plank to downward dog. This throws in kind of a lowering down to upward dog. But you certainly don't have to do that. So I know you all can do this, right? High plank to downward dog. So that is one variation that you could do just to work on building strength. So doing this 3 times. right? The actual pose, we're coming forward and we're lowering down. And then coming back up. So that's one. And I'm going to tell you, when we do this, the breathing isn't really that important. You know how when we do regular yoga, the breath is very important, which way you do it. For this, there really isn't a lot of breath work specified. But the one thing I have noticed is when you're doing this last pose, when we do it, we do inhale coming forward. But if you do this where you're going down into that upward dog position, you'll see that inhaling is really almost impossible. You need to do it on the exhale, which is kind of funny that it's so different. But I would definitely recommend that. Otherwise, you'll end up holding your breath, which isn't really a great thing. So we're starting from here. If you're doing the whole thing, otherwise you're in the high plank. Coming back. Try this. Inhale here. Exhale, coming forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. And exhale forward. The other thing is that the toes, we don't change the toes. So normally when we're doing upward dog, we have our feet flat, right? For this, the toes are always, we're always on the balls of the feet. And that is what helps you sort of move back and forth without any issue. Okay, that's it, right? How do you feel? So why not everybody lay down, lie on our back. And relax. So extend, if you have knees bent, extend the legs, laying flat on the mat. You could have hands by the side, or you could do like a 5-pointed star if you want. And just relax. Let everything just go here. Breathe. So find that peaceful place. Focusing on a mantra or whatever helps keep you focused. Notice the sounds in the room. and the sensations in your body. And let's do an inner space visualization. So, this is kind of a way to build that structure that we might call on in meditation and other sort of practices where we're going within. Um, we're going to begin to concentrate on the space in front of your closed eyelids. And if that is not working for you, you could also visualize a space just behind the forehead, right? For some people, the idea of being outside the body is it doesn't work. We want to be more within. So it's your choice, either one or both. So we're going to imagine that before us is a transparent screen, as though you were at a movie theater. It's as high and as wide as you can see. Direct your focus to this screen and notice anything that manifests within it: colors, patterns, light, maybe words, maybe images. What you see here is a manifestation of the state of your mind, the thoughts, the images, things passing through. Continue to observe this space, practicing a detached awareness so we aren't getting engaged with what we see. We aren't asking questions or pursuing the cause. We are just noticing. Notice what's happening without directing or imagining, just observing. I'm going to name some different things and see if you can envision them. It can be an image, it could just be an emotion or a feeling, a memory or imagination. Jumping from image to image as soon as you hear the word. A red desert, peacock feather, Buddha meditating, a good night's rest, full moon, reflection of yourself in the mirror, a foggy morning, waiting for results, sun shining overhead, bouquet of flowers, a tall tree, receiving help from others, cool, clear water, a relaxing afternoon, laughing with friends, a warm embrace, a burning candle, a temple on a mountain, path in the woods, vibrant sunset, taking a deep breath, a cat stretching, a beautiful garden path, your favorite song, the sound of my voice, your body lying on the floor. Now notice the breath, the feeling of the breath as it flows in and out of your body. Direct your awareness to the physical body. You are relaxed, lying on the floor. Be aware of all of the places where you touch the floor. And when you're ready, maybe begin to move a little. Moving hands and feet. No rush. Opening the eyes. You can roll over onto the right side. And then when you're ready, coming up to seat. Bring hands together. Deep breath in and out. Thank you for taking some time today for yoga, for sharing it with me. I hope you have a really good Friday. Namaste. Thank you for coming out for class. So yeah, I kind of sprung that whole Tibetan thing on you, but I've been thinking about it for a while. I was just trying to figure out how I was going to do that. And we'll do it again, but you can always Google it also, and you'll see lots and lots of stuff online about it. Um, but it is nice. I like it because you don't necessarily need a yoga mat for it, so you could do it really anywhere, anytime. Um, it is pretty strenuous. I mean, you'll see if you're doing it, it's a bit of a workout. And of course, the more reps you do, the more of a workout it is. Um, so I'm all about these like simple things that don't take too much time, but that you can do consistently. So you can give it a shot, see what you think. We'll talk about it again too. Um, but there's that for you. Okay. Well, enjoy your Friday, and I'll be back tomorrow. If I don't see you then, have a great weekend. But maybe I'll see you. All right. Have a great day.